What's up, everybody? Another episode of Golficity Live, December 19th. We got what, Mike? I don't know, a couple days here till Christmas. The end of the year is coming up on us. I can't believe 2017 flew by. We're going to talk about 2018 goals. We're going to talk about what's going on with Golficity in 2018. A lot of big stuff on the fire. I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, and talk about, what do we have, like a 52-degree day up here in the Northeast? So I wonder if anyone up here got out there, hit the range today, got a last session in, because it was actually pretty nice today. Just trying to stay loose. Had a couple of indoor rounds, talked about that last week on the podcast. I'm going to continue to do those. I'm actually going to talk about that when we talk about our goals.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And as always, post your comments below. We'll throw them up on the screen, some of the ones here. As we move through this episode, I want to hear you guys' goals for 2018. I want to hear what you're expecting from the game in general, PGA Tour, technology, whatever it is, throw it up there. We're going to talk about it. I got some stuff. I want to talk about the future of golf. I want to talk about, like I said, what's coming for Golficity. I want to talk about mine and yours, some of our personal goals. I want to talk about the podcast, and then I want to run down some news things because it may be the end of the year, it might be a little quiet in the golf season, but like I said, the news just keeps coming, and I want to get your take on some of this, Mike. So first thing, and let's just dive right into this. We had a great article on Golficity this week where Eric Benzenberg, one of our writers, had broke down like the future of golf and some of the things that he sees we're on the cusp of. And I'll tell you what, a lot of this excited me. Was there anything specific that stood out to you, Mike?
You got golf balls, the technology with golf balls. I mean, I don't want to spoil it. I know you're going to talk about it a little bit more, but, the drones, things that we love using out there. Yep. In fact, you and I talked about today, talking about some type of TrackMan device, like a more affordable unit that we could use to test out some equipment and to work on our own games. And I just think everybody should have those. I mean, the amount of knowledge that we've taken out of that one session last week at Ben Shear's Fitness from the TrackMan was excellent. What we learned in like 5 minutes, just think about if you had your own. So with all the technology coming out there, I'm excited to get my hands on the new F8 driver, a Cobra. So all the stuff.
We're testing that in what, like 2 weeks?
Yeah, 2 weeks it's the store. So we're going to do a full test on that. But yeah, I'm excited about it, man. A lot to come. Technology is here, man. It's great.
A lot of stuff. And speaking of which, all right, so let's just run this down.
Yes, I love it, man. I appreciate it.
Let's run some of this down because I think that is exactly what you're saying is the key here, like the key component to everything that we're seeing in the future and coming up. It has a lot to do with technology becoming more accessible. So one big thing that we're seeing, and we're on the cusp of it. I don't know if this is going to be a big 2018 thing yet or if it's a little bit further out, but the smart golf ball. I mean, have you seen these yet, Mike? Encore Golf is one of the biggest.
I've been reading about them. I haven't used them, haven't tested them. I think Chris McEwen, one of our writers out in Chicago, he's about to get a box sent to him, and he's going to take him out for a full test ride. I can't wait to get his feedback when he does reviews. I don't know if you've read him on Golficity, anyone out there, but he's really in depth, and I love reading them. So I can't wait to read it, and then I can't wait to try them ultimately.
And no doubt, these things aren't cheap. I mean, we're talking about $50 for a 2-pack.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So I'd be nervous to lose them, but there's a lot involved. And, they say it's harder to lose because of the fact that it's going to have tracking in it. But get this. This is some of the stuff that they're going to have built into these things. And this is at least the claims. We got to still see what actually ends up coming. But they're talking about it's going to house inside the ball itself. Let me see if I can throw an image of this up here so you can see what we're talking about. There's your breakdown, right? So you got that smart little chip in there. Actually has a 9-axis accelerometer in there. So it's got GPS as well. So hold on here because this is kind of crazy in a golf ball. First, GPS location within 1 foot accuracy. Second, it'll tell you your shot velocity off the tee and average. It'll tell you your carry flight within 1 foot, degree of fade or draw, spin rate, back, side, and front, angle of descent, height, apex, and roll distance, all out of the golf ball. Come on.
I mean, come on. That's a lot of information. And
it's nuts.
If you slice one OB and can't find it.
Yeah, if it goes in the water, you're not getting that thing back. But here's the thing, and this is what's kind of funny. We had talked on the podcast with Sal Syed, who's the founder of Arcos. We got a chance to play around with him in 2017 too. There's a vlog episode about it. And it's funny enough, that was an idea originally that he had. He mentioned that early on in Arcos's development, they talked about they're considering their technology, putting it into smart golf balls. But at the time, there was a lot of problems. The sensors weren't accurate enough and they were breaking a lot. And golfers, obviously, like you and I, we lose a lot of golf balls. So that's where they adapted and they kind of pivoted to the sensors we see now that go in the clubs. But it doesn't look like it looks like there's still some room there. And as the sensors become cheaper and a little bit more disposable and they start to bring that price down, I think it's kind of remarkable. Even $25 for a golf ball, which will make your eyes explode because you think like $25, but that much technology in a golf ball for $25, it just tells me we're heading in the right direction. We're getting there.
Absolutely. And I can't wait to see and hear how they perform. I'm really, really curious.
No doubt. So that's a really exciting thing. Another exciting one, and you have to excuse me, had a cold all week this week. Yeah, right at the bottom of the pod. So another exciting thing, drones.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a big thing that we added in 2017 to our vlog. We picked up a drone, which has gotten us some terrific overviews and flights over some of these golf courses, and we were able to get some shots that we never would have previously been able to get where we're able to fly it. Like we played West Point. Excuse me. We played West Point, and there was no flying it there, right, Mike?
Yeah, absolutely. No fly zone. Yeah. That's for sure.
No fly zone. We don't need those military police coming after us for that one. But again, here's another instance where we're seeing the technology is bringing the price of these things down. It's making it more accessible for everyone. So for right now, like for photography, the vlog, like we do, it's great. But for golfers, there's some very interesting prospects out there. So think of it like this, Mike. It's almost like having like a digital or whatever you want to call it, like robotic 4Caddy, right? So you had a chance to play with a 4Caddy before, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Really keeps things moving along. Somebody who gets out there, they find the ball, they're out in front of you, and they're helping you identify where things are. We are not that far off from having drone technology that will be able to fly ahead of you, identify the ball, and then watch that ball and lead you to it. So, I mean, that to me right off the bat excites me. And I think that that's going to be really great. I mean, we could talk about pace of play being sped up by something like that. I mean, it sounds like the future. I know it is, but believe it or not, it's really not that far off.
Here's one. I like that.
It's true. And look, that's a great point. Technology, I think the key to anybody who's going to have success in that golf technology space is going to be somebody who can integrate it with and be able to get all the benefits of the technology. For instance, stats, data, or in this case, something that's finding the ball for you or whatever it may be. Doing that without interrupting your game too much. So we're seeing more and more with some of the apps are working their way into wearables. I know for me, the Apple Watch has been huge for that. I don't like to constantly be on my phone. I like the fact that whatever system I'm using, whether it be Arcos or 18 Birdies is the other big one that I use. I know 18 Birdies doesn't have anything for the watch yet, but I believe that is coming. But I like to be able to keep the phone in the pocket or in the cart and be able to just glance down at that for my distances or make sure that my shot was recorded or my score or whatever it may be. So I think that's going to be a big transition too for all these tech guys, is making sure that it's something that is integrated but is as seamless as possible. And then, the other side of that coin, so to speak, and we talked about this and we were getting some people's reactions. Greg Norman teaming up with Verizon for bringing the TVs basically in the cart so you can watch TV, listen to music. That's a little bit more like in your face, they're in the background, but that plays to the side when you're playing a little bit more informal round. You're out there to have some fun. Who knows? I think we'll see whether that gets accepted. I mean, you talk even 2 years ago, and you think like music on the course was something that was you rarely saw, but now you see like Amp Caddy and things like that, and more that's out there, and people are listening to music and they're finding ways that they can do it so that it's kind of more localized just to your area and you're not disturbing other people. I don't know. I mean, it's going to be for some people, and other people are not going to be for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, as always. But I remember 2 or 3 years ago when the apps were just coming. I remember the big one, Golf Logics.
Yeah.
When the GPS apps just started coming out and everyone had to download them and they were expensive or whatever the case may be, but it was our only source of GPS. But now, I mean, they're just, incredible.
Yeah, think about how far it's come just in that regard. You know, I remember 10 years ago, a GPS for your car cost like $1,000, and you had to download the maps from state to state because it couldn't fit everything on one GPS. And now everything is there. I got 18,000 courses in my watch, you know, so it just shows us the progression is going to be quick. The other thing that I'm really excited about, we've covered this before so many times on Golficity, but even since just originally writing that article where we did an article showing how you can build a home golf simulator for under $2,000. That was 2 years ago. Everything in there is still pertinent. The projectors, the systems that we're using, but the good thing is all the prices come down on all of that, and the technology has gotten just better. So it's probably even less now. You could probably feasibly build a simulator for $1,000, depending on what bells and whistles you want to put into like the mat, the net, whatever it may be.
Right.
But yeah, the one thing that was kind of really out of reach and where a lot of, you know, your more serious golfers were complaining was that things that the actual brains of the simulator for home simulator were just not that accurate. And that's changing quickly too. So now where we have still the gold standard is the TrackMan, right? We got to use one. We'll talk about that in a second, but it's the gold standard. It's awesome. It's Doppler. It's just tracking that ball flight. Well, now you're seeing these guys like SkyTrack, Flight Scope. They're starting to bring that technology again down to where it's affordable. I think for $2,000, which you could argue it's affordability, it's still a lot less than a $20,000 TrackMan. But look at this thing. I mean, it'll actually use, you know, multiple cameras in there to track that instant of like contact with the ball, and it'll pick up things like launch angle, speed, swing speed, ball speed. It'll pick up rotation. So again, it's all these like tools that were only available to like the pros, and people with deep pockets are now being brought to golfers everywhere. And I mean, to me, that you just can't beat that.
You know, to me, what I was thinking, and we're going to talk about it, but the things with the TrackMan and the stats and the data and everything you get up on your screen, I mean, it was overwhelming. Smash, club head speed, ball speed, everything. So I really would love somebody to teach me what all that stuff means, and then show me what I need to do to improve. And I bet that's exactly what Ben does, you know, or someone like a coach like that will do.
Exactly. Well, but that is what's also empowering the golf coaches, because the fact that they're getting access to this technology, but so are golfers at home. And to be able to walk into a lesson and say, these are my stats, whether it be stats that you're gathering from an app like 18 Birdies or Arcos, or whether it be something that you're gathering from like a launch monitor, being able to go in there and tell them that, they already have such a better picture of your game. I think they can help you faster and better. Mike, I just want to pause because sometimes when these comments come in, I love it. Here, hold on. This is great. I want to get your take on this. Has this ever happened to you, Mike? Have you ever been too drunk to finish a round? Come on, be honest, Mr. Tito's.
Finished, probably always finished, but given up with too much. The outings, I think I was in an outing over the summer where I just got completely ripped by the 9th or 10th hole. Right. That was the one with the Tito's sign.
That was it.
Yeah, so I think the answer is yes.
The answer is probably yes. Well, I'd say I think I've finished every round. I probably shouldn't have. There's probably been a few rounds where I probably should have called it quits. But yeah, the worst are definitely the outings with the scrambles, right? Where they've got the beer everywhere, and there's always backed up like three on every hole, right? You got like 3 groups on every hole, and you got nothing to do but stand there and drink. That's when I get myself in trouble. That's the problem.
Absolutely.
All right. So then the last thing too, I want to mention, I think this one's going to be big for you, Mike, you know, with the fitness side of things. And this is a great point that Eric had made when he wrote this article, seeing a lot of modernization of private golf clubs. You think of your typical golf club, even some of your best golf clubs, an afterthought is often like the fitness center, the gym, right? But as we're seeing this, and this will kind of lead into talking about this week's vlog, as we're seeing fitness become such a big part of the game, even at the amateur level, especially that being led by us seeing on Instagram, all of our favorite PGA Tour pros, Dustin Johnson, and you have Justin Thomas and these guys, and they're posting their workouts constantly. You're seeing what they're doing. Now we're starting to see more where private clubs are going to have to like really update their fitness facilities and start to bring in like a lot of what you're doing, like Mike, like the metabolic stuff and the crossover type of stuff. So I'm excited to see that. I mean, what's your take? Would you have a better chance of signing up for a private club if it had access to something like that?
I don't know. I mean, the private club thing is kind of sore subject for me in a way because I belonged to one and then I left one. And, I had a whole backstory about why I left. And, it just wasn't for me. I wasn't getting enough use out of it. It was just draining a hole in the wallet. And I just wasn't there enough when I should be. Life got in the way, work got in the way, everything kind of got in the way. So, but, if I was going to join a club, I would absolutely join one. This would be one of the reasons for me, for sure, without question.
Right. And if you think about it like this, if you're already paying $50-$60 a month towards a gym membership, and all of a sudden now the local course has that as part of their membership, you got to take that into consideration.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think that is a big thing that we're going to see.
Here's one.
Okay, good question. Yeah, no, unfortunately, today's the first day the snow has finally melted a little bit because we had 50 degrees. I'm that type where right now, if there's a chance to get out, if we get a little bit of the weather just kind of dips up a little bit in temperature, I will sneak out there and play a little bit, but chances are slim. I mean, we've had 19 to 27 degree days almost every single day. We had snow on the ground all last week and got more snow coming this week. So it's a sad shape we're in here in New York.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's done. We're going inside now. We're indoors. That's for sure. So I mean, that's the stuff that I want to talk about, but leading into, let's talk about this week's vlog episode. If you guys didn't have a chance to catch that, definitely check that out. I'll just show that right now. We got to work with Ben Shear. You've probably seen Ben before on YouTube. He's a Golf Digest regular fitness contributor. He's worked with some of the biggest pros. He worked with Luke Donald when he went to #1. He's worked with Jason Day, Webb Simpson. So it was really cool to get that insight with a real fitness guy and what's done. But Mike, I couldn't believe some of this stuff, the equipment. Again, we talk about technology, the advancements. I mean, but just not too long ago, I used to go to the gym. I mean, gym was weights, and that's all it was, right? Now he's got these machines that have iPads on every single one of them, and it's giving you all of your numbers, your feedback numbers. He's able to control the force down to like ridiculous small amounts. It is almost insane how much they can just kind of hone in and just kind of tone different areas of your game through this stuff now. I was impressed. Yeah, I mean, you'll see it right there in the vlog when he's teaching me about that eccentric and all that stuff on the screen. I actually look at the camera and I said, what is he talking about? Like, I just didn't get it, but I get what he's trying to do. And he said, this is the future of golf. This is the future of fitness. And he's absolutely right. I mean, I work out 4 or 5 days a week, and the stuff that I did in that gym or saw in that gym, I've never seen it before in my life. Even that one machine that looked like a torture chamber. Then you had that one machine where we were doing the full swings with it wrapped around our body. It's all right there in the vlog. You'll see it, but very impressive stuff. Really cool place.
It really was. And what I love is like that accountability and that immediate feedback, in so much as that what he can do is he can start by identifying some like weaknesses in your fitness, in your game, whatever it may be. He develops a program, you work through that, but right there he has the simulator, the TrackMan and stuff like that, and he's able to find out almost immediately if you're seeing results from that. So he's able to identify where the problems are in your game, address them from a fitness standpoint with like some very highly targeted exercises and things like that using these sophisticated machines, and then quantify if that has actually seen an actual improvement in your golf game. So it's so full circle. It's rather than guesswork. It's not just like, all right, if I get a little more strength in the core, I'm going to be able to turn better. Well, he's got some of these exercises like that one you saw us do where we were all wrapped up and just isolating just the core. And then he's able to measure your strength and then go from there and then see how that's translating to your golf game. So that's some exciting stuff. And I'm excited to see as that starts to roll out to more gyms around the country, not just these top fitness guys. You're going to start to see that leak out there across the board.
Yeah, and you'll see it. That's for sure.
No doubt about it. So let's talk quickly about some stuff we've got coming up, and then I want to get into some of these news topics, and then I want to get you guys' take on that. So post them in the comments, and we'll throw them up there on the screen.
And Frank, I also have a bunch of goals rolling in from some of our viewers, so I want to get.
Let's call one or two of those out right now. What do you got?
All right, let's do it. I'm gonna just. Here's a good one. Here's one from David.
Yeah. Careers get in the way sometimes. That darn, having to work, make money.
Darn having to work and make money. I love it, right? Unfortunately, we have to do it.
Yeah, look, sometimes it's just about setting goals of just getting out there and then worrying about the game after that. Right. I had that same goal just 2 years ago. Remember that, Mike?
Yeah, exactly.
And there you go, from 6 to scratch. That's tough. Knocking 6 strokes off. But, already playing to a 6, that's where I think the biggest improvement we see, and we talk about this on the podcast, is starting to get into that mental game and core strategy and getting to be play a little bit smarter, because if you're at a 6, obviously you've got a lot of the skill that's going to be required to get there. I think the getting over that hurdle starts to get to that point where it's just getting into that mental game, deep diving into it.
Yeah, for sure.
There you go, getting fitted. Now, one thing I would say, Davin, is get a couple rounds and get that swing down before you get fitted. If you've been away from the game, if you haven't been playing that much, you're going to want to first get that swing grooved and then get fitted. There's a lot of fitting that goes with just physically sizing you up, which is not going to change. But that's what I did when I got fitted. I waited until I got a full year or two back into the game to do it, because I didn't want to get fit to a swing that was going to get changed. So that'd be my example on that. Gray, right?
Let me tell you something. The hats are awesome. If you guys
love these hats. Yeah.
Golficity.com/merch. Pick them up, wear them. A lot of people around here are wearing them. Helps keep the lights on. We love them.
One thing that I hear often is people say, it's a snapback. I don't want a snapback. I wasn't a snapback guy either until I got these. And I'll be honest with you, you're going to see the hat head now.
Yep.
But I'm loving them. It just fits well. I don't usually wear it backwards.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm too old for that. But anyway, I love these things. So definitely check them out. Mike, let's talk real quick about what we got coming for Golficity, because we got a lot of exciting stuff. And then I want to talk about some of these funny news topics that hit, because a couple of these things are gems. Mm-hmm. First things first, if you're not already checking out the podcast, definitely do so. Believe it or not, we are coming up on our 200th episode, which is going to be right around the first of the year. We're going to have our 200th episode. Hard to believe we've been doing this now, Mike, for over 4 years. The podcast has just been awesome. We've gotten to talk to some of the most exciting people in the game, from Gary Player, Natalie Golbis. It really runs the gamut, and a lot of us just talking about, like I said, and if anybody's new to Golficity, what it is that we're not pros. We're guys just like you guys who are just learning the game. And as we learn it, this exciting stuff that we find, we try to bring it to you guys. Because if we can do it, if we can learn it, we figure you guys can too. So the podcast is a lot like that. And we just got on Spotify, but you can hear us on iTunes, Spreaker, SoundCloud. We also post the audio on YouTube. You can go to our YouTube channel. Just search Golficity anywhere there. You're going to find it. But one big news that we've got, and we're putting the finishing touches on. We're ready to wrap it up and put it under the Christmas tree. I don't know if it's going to be out by Christmas, but we're pushing to do so. We're going to be working on rolling out our iOS and Android app. All right. It's going to be 100% free. It's going to be all the Golficity content in one spot for you guys. So you're going to get the podcast, the videos. Oh, there it is. Wait, hold on. Whoa, sneak peek. There it is.
Sneak peek, man. It's all here.
So you're going to get all that Golficity content in one place. Like I say, it's going to be free. And then we had small apps just for the podcasts and things like that, and we had them on iOS, and people were saying, when's it coming to Android? This one we're going to roll out simultaneously on both platforms so that everybody has access to it. We're also going to be doing a lot more vlogs. I know the big thing people have been saying is they want more of the vlogs to go along with the podcast. We've been lining up all different ones. We got them coming almost every 2 weeks going forward. We're going to be at the PGA show in a couple weeks. So a lot of stuff that's going to be there. As well as we're going to be expanding the podcast and Golficity in general, bringing some new voices to the platform. You're going to hear some more podcasters, which is going to be really great.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I do too.
That's one of my favorite bits of advice. I like it. Mm-hmm.
Well,
Still use it.
you focus on that. I mean, you've got to be able to make a good turn if you're going to finish in a good spot. So I think that's an important one.
Oh, I missed one came in. It came off. Here it is.
We're one step ahead of you.
Yeah, we are.
It's going to be on there. We're going to have a link to it and then all the different gear. And if there's anything you guys want to see, let us know, because we've got a great company we're working with and they're able to kind of like deploy them pretty quick. One example of that, we had that cold vlog we did in November. We're like, we can't be wearing these. We need some winter hats. They got us the winter hats done with the G. Mm-hmm. Those are awesome. It's funny. My wife doesn't golf. She, doesn't even pay attention to it. And she wanted one. She's like, you got to get me one of those. I like that G hat. Mm-hmm. So that's cool stuff. All right. Let's talk a little bit about our personal goals too. I know we mentioned that before. I'll let you kick it off, Mike. I know you've got a lot of stuff going on for 2018. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so much. But first and foremost, I think the most important goal for me with my golf game is just want to practice more. I mean, it's something I just didn't do at all last year. The golf game went the other way for me, because I didn't practice. Yep. Listen, we're busy. We got a lot to do after work. There's kids, there's dinner to prepare. There's, everything else, life. So I can't let that be an excuse in 2018. There's enough training aids on the market to build a home practice facility. I mean, even in the winter, I have a Chippo golf set. I have a practice green. I have an impact snap, the orange whip in the garage, on a mild day like today, just to stay loose. I want to build a routine and I want to stick to it. And then I want to transition it on the course because I give up all of my strokes where on things that I could just practice in my house. It's not getting off the tee. It's not those long iron shots. I mean, we go to the range enough that I can kind of work those and figure those out. It's everything else that I could do right here in the basement. So yeah, that's my big goal.
All right. And part two of that question, what are you looking forward to most for Golficity in 2018?
What am I looking forward to most? Making the brand grow and just getting everyone on board with what we're trying to do and what we're trying to achieve. Like you just mentioned, how we're not pros and we just want to bring everyone along with us as we venture and get all these new products sent to us so we could test them and bring them to you as we go to these tour events and we could talk to players and bring all of that awesome content to you. Because after all, I mean, we all love golf. You who's watching, us who's talking about it. So we want to just bring as much as we can to you. So I guess that's my biggest thing.
Yeah, and you know what? I thought for sure you were going to plug Bay Hill in there.
Yeah, I'm nervous about Bay Hill. I know it's like 85 days away. I count it off every day. But yes, playing in the Pro-Am is one of my biggest, most exciting thing that's coming up relatively soon. And I can't wait for that.
And for anyone who doesn't know, I'll give you the quick backstory. Go back and watch our first vlog on YouTube, and you'll see Mike. He sank an $18,000 putt to win an all expenses paid trip to play at go to and play in the Bay Hill Pro-Am, which is in March, and that's just going to be something else. So we don't know who Mike's going to get paired up with yet, but that's a big one. Just talking about my own personal goals, similar to Mike. I mean, I'm in a crunch time frame right now. I've got a 3.5-year-old and a 6-month-old at home, so that's been keeping me busy, and I'm not sleeping much. But when there's time to practice, I'm trying to put in that smart focus practice. One thing that I've been working with, I love the new Tathata golf program. That's something that if you guys haven't heard about it, check it out. That's what we had the chance of having them on the podcast and talking a little bit about it. What I like about it, it's video led. You can do it anywhere and you can kind of pause it, start, stop whenever you want. But there's a lot of foundational stuff that they work on that you can do right at home. There's a fitness aspect to it, a flexibility aspect to it, big mental game stuff. But again, just like you said, Mike, key for me, if I'm going to get practice in, because, like some of our listeners are saying that, it's too busy. We all work for a living. You can't always get out there. That's where I find that if you got to be smart about your practice, got to be able to fit it in. I like the program for that. If you do decide to try it out, ever since we had them on the podcast, they were nice enough to extend an exclusive discount to us. If you try it, use the coupon code Golficity and you get a $10 discount on it. So a little something to throw your way. That's really great stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, getting back into it is often one of the hardest, but also one of the most exciting things. I talked about it before. A little background on myself. I had played high school golf, and I had played when I was younger. I got away from the game for about 10 years, 10 to 12 years, going through college and younger, starting my career. Hadn't picked up a club for almost a decade. And then just maybe 6 years ago, I started to get back into the game. Those first couple of years, it's frustrating because especially if you played well before, you're not right back at that level. But sometimes you realize how much you've learned since then, and there's a lot of growth, and you can kind of take that and move forward with it. So that's really good stuff. And I'll ask myself, as far as part two of that same question, what I'm most excited about right now in the short term. I'm most excited about the PGA show in Orlando.
Yeah. I can't wait.
Mike, you and I, we talked about this every year, how much we want to get down there. It's finally the year it's working out. And, just so many people who we speak to in the industry virtually and through here and emails and phone calls every day that we're finally getting to get out there and see face to face. Super excited about that. We're going to cover all of that on Instagram, live, Instagram stories, Snapchat, our vlog. We're going to bring you guys along with us for as much of that as we can. But if you're going to be down there, look for us. We're going to be bouncing around the show. We're looking to meet as many of the, Golficity listeners, fans, as many as we can. So I'm really excited about that.
It's going to be easy to find us, right, yeah. Frank? Just look for this. Right.
Just look for that big G, man.
Yeah, just look for it. Here's one from Ryan. I like this question, actually, real quick. What's your favorite course to play in the golf simulator? Frank, real quick. I'll kick it off. I'll give you a chance to think. Kiowa. I don't know. Yeah. I played it last week, and I loved it. Crushed it. It was great.
Funny little tidbit. Every time we go down there, we ask, can we play Augusta, right?
No one has it. Except for Tiger. I think Tiger Woods Golf had it.
They keep that thing so locked down. They don't even license it out for anyone to map it and put it in a simulator. It's amazing. You know what? I like playing the old course, St. Andrews. Yeah. It's just so different. And even in the simulator, it's a little bit of a weird feeling the first time you play in a simulator because they have like the simulated wind. So you almost have to, like, it's almost because you don't tactily feel it like you would on a golf course. You got to get almost used to it as if it was playing a video game. You have to actually, before each shot, look at the wind and get a realization of the wind. Yeah. So, but it's a lot of fun. I think that's the fun course. Oh, by the way, jumping back to, again, if we ever get to that point with having those drones as for caddies, the drones can give a lot of what a caddy would, giving you very accurate things like wind direction, wind speed, because it's measuring all that. How cool is that?
That's incredible.
That is some cool stuff. Crazy. All right, let's just jump into some news stories real quick. By the way, you guys, if you have any takes on these, you want to jump in the conversation, just add them in the comments and we'll throw some of them up there. But the first one, Mike, this is pretty cool. Just this past week, we saw this, and Tiger's back. I just love hearing Tiger's back. I love seeing it in the news. I love seeing him, on social. I love seeing him, playing pretty well at the Hero. But someone actually paid $210,000 for a private lesson with Tiger Woods. Mike, assuming I could wave a crystal ball and you had that kind of money, is that something you would even consider?
100%.
100%. Not even a hesitation.
Not even a hesitation. You just said if that money wasn't an issue, I would totally do it. I mean, it was for charity, I think it was Hurricane Harvey relief, right?
Yep.
So it was for a great cause. If I was there as a billionaire and Tiger was, I felt the way I felt about Tiger, the way I feel about him now, 100%. I would have kept going. 210, 220, 250.
Yeah. No doubt. See, that's the thing. And that's what I say too. I'm not going to hate on this at all because it's for charity. It's not like somebody just throwing some money at Tiger. No, Tiger don't need it. So the fact that Tiger's donating his time for that charity, and then the fact that this is going to go towards a charity, I'm all for it. On top of that, if you really think you're going to get anything out of that lesson, forget about it. I personally think if you would get a lot more, you would get a lot more out of a lesson with a top teaching professional than you would with Tiger. But the experience, meeting him, having that one-on-one time, being able to pick his brain. Plus,
you don't think you'd get a lot? Yeah. The story, of course.
Think about that. Every party you go to from here forward, if someone brings up the name Tiger, be like, yeah, I took a lesson from him.
You don't think you would get a lot out of a lesson if he really put his all as a teacher for an hour with you?
I wonder. Sometimes they say the best performers aren't necessarily the best
teachers. That's true.
I'm sure. I mean, the guy who has that much insight in the game is going to see some things in my swing. I think I'd just be too nervous to take a swing.
I know.
But of course he's going to give you some feedback. But I'd rather, I'd use the time just to like hang out with him, pick his brain, hit some shots with Tiger. that would be right there. It'd be worth it.
Like, just imagine if I got paired up with him at bay. My heart would jump out of my chest on the first tee. I wouldn't be able to play. Even if he just was like in the group before me, I'd be hitting up just to go get out, ride up.
Oh, that's too funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it was really interesting. This is a funny comment. I wish podcasts lowered handicaps. If so, I'd be on the PGA Tour right now.
It's true. We've actually had listeners write in, said they've lowered their handicap as a result of listening to the show. It's not a lie.
It's not a lie. We'll get you a couple strokes. That's for sure. I know it's helped me. Just talking about golf every week is
exactly
strokes on my game. All right, last little news story here. So this is kind of funny, and I had to just jump to this news story so I could see where it was. It was the Auburn University has the exact number, so you can kind of Google it and you can find this recent study. But the question is, can chewing gum and drinking coffee help your golf game? My hope would be an ecstatic yes, because it's me with coffee. I gotta have a cup of coffee, but. Get this. They said that consuming a moderate dose of caffeine does improve golf-specific measures and, on average, can shave 2 strokes off your handicap. So there, podcast just saved your handicap. Exactly. Drink coffee.
Exactly.
Show's over. Let me close this out. No, but it's actually kind of funny. And they said, as for chewing gum, they said that chewing during a round can increase productivity and reduce cognitive errors. And it's kind of funny if some people had come up to Jordan Spieth after his win at the Open Championship because they noticed he was chewing. I think what happened was Cameron McCormick, his coach, gave Spieth some mint gum before his rounds at Royal Birkdale, and people were speculating that had helped him, and Spieth just kind of brushed it off. But I guess there's some sort of science to it, and saying that cognitively, if you got something to keep your mind busy, but of course, Mike, like anything else, someone is seizing on this opportunity already. Of course. And a Colorado-based company is rolling out golf gum. Have you seen golf gum?
No, I have not.
Caffeinated gum. They're hitting on both those things in one shot. You get that double whammy of your caffeine and your gum. There's your 2 strokes.
I love it. And if I can't get my hands on that, next season you're going to see me walk up to the first tee with a big wad of Big League Chew.
Dude, I wouldn't trust you with golf gum. You don't know how to go halfway with anything. You would literally have the whole thing in your mouth. And then it would hit you 2 holes later.
Yep.
You'd be like jitters. I bet get in the car, Mike.
Just give me a 10. Give me a 10.
You fit on this hole and a liter of water. I got to wash this down.
That's great.
Funny stuff. But look, do I necessarily believe it? I don't know. I'm the type of guy, like, I have a cup of coffee, but that's usually because I tee off at 6:30 on Saturdays.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Pretty much the only way I'm getting to the first tee.
Frank, I got to add this comment because it's great. Oh, where is it? Oh, he came and left. Sorry about that. Here it is.
There you go.
See, there we go. I love this.
Thanks, Ryan. We appreciate that. That's great.
And here's one about the gum that just came in.
Okay. Yep. And then report it back to us. I want to know. If the gum helped you, you let us know. And if it did, you owe us a pack of gum.
Yeah, definitely. Hello to Australia. We have a lot of listeners and fans in Australia, believe it or not.
Yes.
We got to get out there one day, Frank.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Okay, so that's pretty much everything we have. We got to hop off because we got to go record a podcast. But thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Check out the podcast. We got a new episode dropping this Sunday. Visit golficity.com for more of these types of stories. And make sure you subscribe to that podcast on iTunes, Spotify, wherever. And as well as for these new live segments we're doing. These have been great because of this interaction where we're able to speak directly with you guys. On the podcast, we don't have that just me and Mike one-on-one or with a guest. Here we're able to pull your comments in. You guys can join the conversation. We also post these on YouTube after, so you can watch the replay if you miss them. But if you want to be part of the conversation, make sure you turn on those live notifications on Facebook. That way you'll see when we're going live. We're trying to do it once a week. We're going to get on a more regular schedule going forward. Right now, we're just trying to fit it in where we can. But definitely check that out. And if you hit those live notifications, you'll see when we go live and be able to be part of the conversation.
And Frank, I think I want to give away a couple of putter grips next time we go live.
Oh, that'd be great.
I love the comments, and I think some of them deserve. We could do something fun. We'll figure it out. But I've got a great new Lampkin putter grips that came in. I showed them last week on live, and maybe we can give some of those out.
That'd be perfect.
Holiday season.
All right, cool. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. We'll see you all.